Just waiting patiently. Okay, the countdown clock is going. I just need to press plus here and click there and preview and go live and wait till it's gone live and paste the code in there and connect, and it's gone green. Okay, so over here I should be in a second. We've got so many checks to do. I should be able to type HELRO. Okay, so I've sent a message. I'm in the studio and I'm waiting for the message to come through. And is it going to come through or not? I don't know. Hello and welcome. I've got an hello from Jason. Hello, Jason. And I've got a hello from me, and I'm testing something. And I think today, again, we have got problems. Just let me try once more. It's gone green, but I can't see anything. Okay, let's come to me. Okay, I've had internet problems in the last 30 minutes, and I've had microphone problems, and I've had problems. It's one of those days. This broadcast may last 5 minutes or an hour and 30 minutes. It rather depends on the internet and the internet gods. I've got a situation where I think, well, I can see the comments actually coming through on my iPad. Since we're such good friends, I need advice. Ask away, Jason, and I'll see if I can answer your broadcasting related question. Okay, so we're here. Time to calm down a bit. It's always exciting going live, and especially exciting when things go wrong. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close a few things down. So I'm going to close that. Thank you for watching me on Amazon Live. Hopefully normal service will be resumed and I won't be disappearing this time. And you can hear me. This is important that you can actually hear me. Now, I'm broadcasting live to Facebook and YouTube and to Amazon Live. Amazon Live is my main focus. Okay, my focus is on you watching on Amazon Live right now. Down in the carousel are 40 different items, majority of which I own, a majority of which I will try and talk about during the course of this live broadcast. If you've got any questions about anything that's down the carousel, please do ask. If you want more information, just click the link. It'll take you to the Amazon.com page and you can discover more. Right. Okay. I'm just hoping this broadcast continues. Okay. And over to Jason, and Jason is saying, right. Okay, Jason, thank you. And the thing I love about Amazon is that they have very good AI and comments will just disappear. Okay, so if you've seen the comment, then just take it with a pinch of salt, please. Okay. You know you're getting known when people actually come to your show to ask weird questions. Okay, now on today's broadcast, I've got two cameras. This is my second camera. It's down in the carousel, and it is the Obspot Tiny PTZ camera. And yeah, well, Jason, you know this is about broadcasting and hardware and software, and it's not about love life. Okay, so you're actually watching now the Obspot Tiny 4K camera, which is $228, 15% off. Now, as you've noticed, I've actually tidied up my demonstration area, and we have a chess set. And this particular chess set, I've had it for 23 years, but I actually discovered it again on Amazon. So if you want to play me at chess, I'm going to go D2 to D4, and it's your move. And if you type your move into the comments, then I shall move during the game. So if you want to challenge me to a game of chess, then please do. You can see my iPad in screenshot. I'm just going to move that out of the way over there. Okay, and come back to me. Okay, at least this time you can actually hear me. I'm going to take you on a tour of where I live and show you the castle in Devizes. So that's a video that's coming up shortly. So look forward to that. Just a note, advance notice. In addition to being on Amazon Live, I train people about going live on camera and going live. Now it works, said Corinda. Okay, I don't know. No, it's a Facebook comment, Corinda. Okay, now you can hear me. Yes, now I've got the live broadcast, but what I don't have is I don't have the connection with Amazon Live, which is perhaps as well. Okay, so this is an official Be Live broadcast on June 22nd, 12 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. in the UK, and I'll be talking about gaining confidence on camera, which is important because a lot of people don't actually go live because of a sort of fear of going live. So I'm going to sort of engage that. And the other thing is, I can't show the next card. Coming to a system near you very shortly is the ability to see your comments from Amazon Live in the studio and show them on screen. Hopefully that will happen. Just let me, if I copy this, just a minute, and copy that. Just give me a second and go here. It has to turn green, so I should be seeing the comments. And connect. I'm not sure. Corinda, I don't know where you're going, but let's find out. Love to join you and can tell people as well. The problem is, Corinda, that we know from experience that if people join us on camera, then we don't get as big a reach. Yeah. If you get 2 Amazon insiders on camera, that works well. That's why Nick and I can broadcast together, because we're both insiders. If you're not an insider and you've not been approved by Amazon, it's very difficult to actually come on screen and get an audience. Okay. And the next one, you are most certainly watching today. Lights, camera, action with Stephen, and we're talking about webcams, microphones, audio gear, live video, and Fitbits. And as usual, I'm actually wearing my Fitbit. Okay, let's come to this camera. Well, let's just hide a few things. You know I'm live on the 22nd at 12 p.m. Eastern. You know that pretty soon I'm going to try and hide that. I'm going to hide Grant Saunders 2. Okay, and things are running. I had a Windows update today, and I think that update is messing things about. Okay, so I'm going to hide that. No, nothing's behaving itself. Okay, the video I'm going to show you later. Oh, he's back again. Right. If you, I mean, this is interesting. Basically, what's happening is that somebody's in the background of my studio, I'm assuming, actually doing something to fix things, and they're just making things a little bit more complicated than they need to be. So I'm going to hide that. Okay, let's come back to me in a second. We'll eventually get to me. Oh, good. Oh, good. I know, I mean, the fact that this is my second attempt to go live today is no surprise. I'm going to go full screen on that camera. Okay, hopefully you can see full screen my desktop. Okay, now you're actually seeing the Osbot Tiny PTZ camera. Okay, and Corinda's been testing. It's not come through, Corinda. I've got nothing in my studio, and I'm just going to ignore it. Okay, so let's go again. This going from over here, this is a 4-way USB connector. Next to that is a Logitech C920X camera, which is down the carousel. We've got the Echo Dot, which we're looking at. We've got the TP-Link Deco, and over here we've got the magnetic base for the TP-Link, for the Obspot, and my mug from Be Live, which you can just about see. Okay, and the chess set. I'm going to go d2 to d4. And we'll see if anybody takes up my challenge as far as chess is concerned. Okay, but the first thing about this camera, and I'm going to go through the details of the camera and go here. Let's go to, we're looking at the Overspot Tiny PTZ camera. Let me just switch over cameras. Okay, I'm going to switch over to the Overspot Tiny. Having looked at that desktop, just a second, we are switching over cameras. Hopefully, fingers crossed, toes crossed, this will actually work. I'm having one of those days. So that's a tiny 4K camera. And where is the 4K camera? I've got it. Okay, so the screen's going blank for a second, and then we should have the Overspot camera. Okay, we've got it. Okay, something's going right. Oh, goody. Right, okay. I'm just going to go. I've got the software I've just loaded up. I had to close everything down. So I'm just getting going again and be with you in a second. Okay, let's start at the beginning, shall we? And go here. Okay, this is me. Okay, now the thing about this particular position, I just need to lock the camera, otherwise it's going to keep moving around on me. Okay, and go to me. Okay, this is also a 4K camera. Now the camera can either be on top of your monitor or it can be on a tripod. The one that you're looking at now is the Overspot Tiny 720p 1080p, and it's mounted on a tripod, and I'm looking directly at the camera on the tripod. Now I can do this because of the tripod. The camera is at eye level, so it makes it a lot easier to actually just look at the camera. Now I'm just trying to slow down a bit. Okay, now the main features of the camera that we're looking at, and this is the Overspot Tiny PTZ camera. Okay, and it is, wait for it, it's AI powered priming and gesture control. Basically, there are two gestures that you can actually use with the camera. The first one is that, which means follow me, and the second one is that, stop following me. There's AI tracking software actually built into the Overspot camera, so it will actually follow you around. And you can zoom in doing that. You can zoom out doing that. Okay, and it takes these controls as you're actually moving about. Okay, the next thing is that the camera itself, the camera we're looking at, and the one that's down in the carousel, is a 1080p webcam capable of 720 and 1080. I'm broadcasting to you today at 720, which is the standard set by Amazon Live. So I can't show you the full quality of the camera. Believe you me, it is a high definition camera. It is 1080p. Okay, and going further down, the camera itself has dual omnidirectional microphones. Now, basically two microphones, they're omnidirectional, which means that they hear everything, okay, around you. Okay, and the next item in here is a 90-degree wide angle. So it's 90 degrees, but because it's on a, I'm going to tap that lock again, just a minute. Okay, because the camera is actually on a gimbal, it can actually go through 380 degrees. So I can go, as an example, I can go from me to my BenQ monitor, and you can see on top of the monitor, if I move that out the way, you can see the Overspot Tiny camera there. You can see Logitech Brio camera there, and you can see the Logitech Litra Lite. So all those three are on the top of my monitor. Okay, and you can see, if I move over here, you can see my broadcasting studio. Right, and if I go here, he said, I'm just going to bring this back in, and I'm going to go here, and you can actually see outside. Okay, so it's tracking across, and you can now see this is the view from my window. I'll show you another view later, but this obviously is the house next door and the house next door to that and the gable end of the next house. But you can see all the trees that have grown in the last 20, 30 years, and it's a beautiful area to live in. And today is a beautiful sunny day because, as I say, it's 31 degrees outside and it's 30 degrees inside. Okay, so outside, swivel, past my medals, over to the BenQ monitor, which is there, and then further over to me. Okay, so it's got 3 preset positions that we can use. Just a minute, I just want to change something, just a second. I want to go that way. I'd like being, he said, just a second. I'm going to zoom out a bit. Okay, and I'm going to update that. It's easy to fix these things on the fly. I like to be somewhere near the center of the screen. On the door, Under Armour rucksack, which is not down in the carousel. So 3 preset positions. The other thing that the system has, and given what's going on at the moment, this may or may not work. Okay, this may or may not work. The camera may follow me. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, so the camera is actually following me as I stand up, and I can walk around, and the Obswat Tiny camera is trying to keep up with me as I run around my office. Yeah, that's the thing about it. This is a static camera as far as if you're going live and you sat down, but also you can stand up and present. So I can talk to you about the fact that it is 30 degrees in my office at the moment, and I can talk to you about the fact that the Obswat camera we're looking at has a magnetic mount. This is it, and basically you put this on. Lip goes over the top of your monitor. You can, there's an adhesive strip there which you can press on, so it's actually tight on your monitor, and then you can put the camera on top and it's magnetic. So once this is on your monitor, I've got to tell you that this is actually difficult to get off. Yeah, so very secure. The alternative way is you can actually just put it on tripod. Okay, right, whilst that's moving, I'm going to go back here so that can move around, and you can see my BenQ monitor, which is down in the carousel. Okay, and I can sit back down and I can come back to you. Okay, if this is not an all action show, I really don't know what is. I've got Jason in the comments. I've got my internet disappeared half an hour before I was due to go live. I've got the fact that I don't have comments in my studio. So everything that could go wrong, I'm having a mare today. But you're staying with me, and I do appreciate that. And we're talking about the Obswat camera. And as time goes on, things will just simply get better and better. Okay. So let's go through. If I go over here, okay, and we'll go through the rest of the features of the Obswat Tiny camera, which is down in the carousel. Breathe deep. Dual omnidirectional microphones, 90-degree wide angle. Okay, 90 degree. Low light correction. If I load my light software, I've got a Logitech Litra Glow light, which you saw above the monitor a moment ago. I'm just loading the software. Again, didn't have a chance to set all this up. Okay, and if I switch the light off, you'll see that I've gone darker. Okay, now the camera is trying to auto correct for that, which is why you can still see me. But if I switch the light back on, then wait a minute, if I switch the light back on, then I'm better lit and I'm more comfortable being like this. Okay, it's got an AI powered PTZ webcam. So it is AI powered. We've seen that. I can stand up, walk about, sit down. And in addition to that, it's got privacy. Now, if I can go, I'll show you the privacy settings in a moment. Like in actual fact, I can go here. One of the things about having two Oberspot cameras is that I can actually show you things. So let's go to the BenQ monitor, okay, which is here, okay, and you can see the camera that's on top of the screen. If I'm just trying to get rid of that title, got it? Okay, if I go to the camera here and I ask the camera to sleep, just watch the camera. Let's zoom in. Okay, I can zoom in and I can go up a bit. Wait a minute. Go up a bit. Okay, and I'm going to zoom in. Okay, so there is the Oberspot camera on the top. And if I ask it to sleep, just watch the lens on top of the camera. It's gone to sleep. And that was the wrong camera. Just a minute. Let me wake it up again and resume. Okay. I'll show you later. I will show you that. If I go here, let's go BenQ monitor, me and outside. Okay. So the the lens just flips. Okay. It's got 3 preset positions. We've looked at that. It has a sleep mode. So if you don't use the camera for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you decide, it will switch itself off. We've seen when it was tracking me that the camera has, just a minute, come to me, the camera has headroom mode. So what it will do is it try and give you headroom, yeah, at the top. Okay. And scrolling down, they've improved the camera recently. They're always, Oberspot are always updating software, and they made the recent change to change the exposure of your face, which is why I'm looking bright red today. Not because of 30 degrees and the internet failing, but because it's showing a true picture. So it's got face auto exposure, which is a great improvement. And I'm going to contrast that with, yeah, with the Logitech Brio camera in a moment. Okay, it's got noise reduction. This is important because it's got the twin microphones, but if you didn't have noise reduction, if the dog barked, anybody in your Zoom call or anybody on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter and Twitch, depending on where you're broadcasting, will actually hear the dog. And that's not good. I just need to stop something now. Okay. The next thing is that it's got a motion mode. It has a fast motion mode. If you want to film video, somebody doing 100 meters, then it will track them as they run the 100 yards, 100 meters. If you want to film a soccer match, then you can do that. Okay. Sleep mode we've talked about, and 2-axis gimbal we've talked about. Okay, and it does have, back to me, it does have a magnetic, we saw that a minute ago. It does have the magnetic mount, okay, which makes it very stable. And that's the noise cancellation software I'm using today, which is Crisp AI. Now let me just check something, because my iPad has gone decidedly blank. And you're still here and still watching. Words got round. Thank you for watching me live. I really do appreciate it. This, you know, when you go live, okay, I'm fortunate enough to go live on Amazon Live 5 times a week, and I really enjoy doing it. Normally 11 a.m. Eastern. And today, before I started, I had everything set up. I even got the chess set set up. Okay, I even set up the chess set. Yeah, which I'll show you in a minute. Let's come back to me. I got everything perfect, and then the internet went, and that's beyond our control. If you lose internet, then you just can't do it. I mean, I can't broadcast live, so I accepted that, and we're just getting going again. I do appreciate you actually spending the time. I'm just going to try something once more because I never give up. I try and persist. And I just want to try and copy something. So just give me a second. And I'm going to go here and I'm going to copy that. Okay. And I'm going to go here. And I'm going to paste it. Now it says it's green. Okay, if somebody wants to help me, if you can just, apart from Jason, that is, if you can make a comment on Amazon, just say hello, then I can check whether what I've just done has had any effect whatsoever. Yeah. I'm not sure whether it will, but you don't have to comment. You don't have to do anything. I'm just glad that you're here. Okay, right. The next camera is the 4K camera. And what I'm going to do is I am going to switch over cameras now. So bear with me for a moment. Okay, so I'm going to go to the OBSBot 4K camera. And this is probably one of the weirdest demonstrations I've ever given. And then I'm going to go here. Okay. Right. Okay. Now I'm going to that camera and I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to the desktop. Okay. So this is my desktop and this is the OBSBot 4K camera. Okay. Now I've actually got it running today at 1080, but the whole broadcast is going out in 720. So this is not as good as it gets. Right, as far as the demonstration area is concerned, then we've got Logitech Brio camera down the carousel. That's an ideal first camera. We have the Anker 4-way USB. We've got an Echo Dot. Alexa, what's the temperature?
At the moment, it's 29 degrees Celsius. Tonight, you can expect a low of 14 degrees.
Thank you. We've got the TP-Link Deco Wi-Fi system, which I'm broadcasting on now. We've got a plant which is behind that camera. Just let me move that camera out of the way. We've got a plant we're going to watch grow through 2022, and my Belive mug. I can move that up a bit now. Angelica was in earlier, my partner, actually moving things around. And if I move the camera again, you can see that that is my Belive mug. Okay. Oh, yeah. Right. Okay. Now the PTZ camera, which I'm on at the moment, it's got a desktop. It's got me. Okay, so this again, you've got 3 different preset views that you can use. You've got me, you've got the desktop, and then we can go outside, and you've got the garden. And I can zoom out on the garden. I can zoom in on the garden, and you can see that this is a live capture of the garden. And you can see gentle breeze blowing the leaves. And it is a warm breeze rather than the cool breeze that we've had recently. But you are looking at, just a moment, the fact, I just want to go back here. You are looking at the fact that I'm going to go for the 4K camera. No, that's not it. I'm going to go for the right 4K camera. Hang around, things will get better. So the camera you're actually looking at is, you probably get it before I do. The camera you're actually looking at, and it's providing this beautiful view for you, is the OBSBot Tiny 4K PTZ camera. Let me come back here. I just want to change my studio a little, and let's go there, and or there. My studio is not responding. 3, 2, 1. Yes, that's better. The text was too big. So we are looking at the OBSBot Tiny PTZ camera 4K, capable of 4K. Now, the thing about a 4K camera is, back to me, is that you can broadcast in 4K. Now, we can't broadcast via web-based software in 4K, but if you've got a 4K camera, you can record in 4K, you can upload in 4K. You can also broadcast live to YouTube in 4K. Now, I've done this, and the difference between 720, 1080, and 4K, which is somewhere up towards the ceiling, is incredible. And if you go to YouTube, you'll see that I've done a 4K video. If you just search for Stephen 4K, you might find it. I'm going to do some more this weekend. Okay, next thing is that, and you're looking at it now, it's AI-powered framing and autofocus. So like the other camera we just looked at, it can track you. It can also frame you. So what it's doing at the moment is making sure that I'm in the center of the screen and I've got headroom. Yeah, that's basically one of the jobs the camera does automatically. The next thing about the camera is it's a 4K video conference camera. So it's ideal for video conferences where you've got individuals around a table and they're all taking it in turns to speak, which should be the normal way of doing things. Yeah, and the camera can focus on each person in turn, and you can direct the camera using the software. Okay, and because the microphones are omnidirectional, everybody can speak. It's, as I said, dual omnidirectional microphones, so everybody can speak. The next thing is that, okay, it's got auto tracking, 2-axis gimbal that we saw earlier. And just going through, I write all these down so I don't forget them. It's got low light correction. If I switch my light off, and I'm going to do it this time, I go darker and the camera will try and auto correct so that you can still see me. It's always better to have lighting though, he said, switching the light back on. And the next one in here, magical gesture control. I said earlier, you can actually start tracking and stop tracking, and you can zoom in and you can zoom out using gesture control. The next item down is dual microphones. We talked about that with noise reduction built in, which is important. 3 preset positions. So let's just go through that again. If I've got the software, then I can go from me to the desktop. Yeah. And then from the desktop out to the garden. Yeah. And then I can reverse that procedure. Okay. I could zoom in. Yeah, I can zoom out, I can pan left or right, I can tilt up or down. Okay, and if I want to go back to the original, I just need to press desktop and it will sort itself out. And then the third position is it's looking directly at me. Now, if you were here earlier, I just want to say thank you. I did show you that I've got an Oberspot 4K, I've got the Logitech Brio, and I've got Logitech Litra Lite all on my BenQ monitor. Okay, and they're as close together as can be physically. Right, AI tracking we looked at when we looked at the original Oberspot camera. So it can track me around the room as I move. And in addition to that, it's got versatile mounting. We've seen it earlier on a tripod mount. We've also got the mount that's magnetic that actually goes on top of your monitor, which I'm using. Okay, and I'm going to that. And because I'm using 2 Oberspot cameras, I've got the Oberspot Tiny, Oberspot 4K, both down in the carousel next to each other. You can investigate either or both. I've got 6 views that I can use during this live broadcast, which means that I can switch quickly from one view to another. So if I want to talk about something on the desktop, I can go straight to the desktop and I can tell you about my BeLive mug from BeLive. Okay, because as I said earlier, I work for BeLive. Okay, let's check the iPad. Let's come back to me and check the iPad. So I need to come back to me using the Oberspot, and I'm going to come back to me and pick up the iPad. Okay, and I've got Rome, and got hello coming from Rome. Rome is a very good friend. and fellow Amazon Live broadcaster. And Rome, if you want to drop a link to your Amazon Live, please do. I mean, the thing about, there are probably, we think, there are over 2,000 Amazon Live broadcasters. And we've got 3 communities on Facebook, which we're members of, and we help and support each other. The other thing is that we are all independent, every single one of us. We don't work for Amazon. Yeah. We can give honest reviews on the items down in the carousel, most of which we own. Okay. Are we still here? Yes, we're still here. And we've actually been live for 35 minutes, which, given what happened earlier, is good. So what I'm saying is that if you're looking for a camera that can do more than just sit on top of your monitor or PC or Mac, then the OBSBot Tiny is worth looking at. They do. Well, I'll show you. I'm just going to do a screen share now. Just give me a second to set this up, because as you've been so patient, I do feel that I should give you as much information as I can. So what I'm doing now is on screen, I'm going to bring, hopefully this will work. Fingers crossed. Okay. Fingers crossed. Yes. Okay. I'm going to stop that. Hopefully that will stop. That's stopped. I don't know what's going on today. Okay. No, I want it to stop. If you can keep your cool while all around you is falling about, do it. Okay, you need 3 things to go live, and certainly on Amazon Live. On a day when it's 31 degrees, patience, persistence, and the will to win. So the patience just to carry on regardless. Persistence, you're actually going to win. That's where the will to win comes in. We're going to get through this together. We're going to get through this. Right, I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back to here. Okay, and hopefully, yeah, I'm going to switch that camera off. Okay, hopefully that will work. Yeah, and I'm going to take that off. Okay, we'll get there. It's a bit slower today because it's a bit too hot for me. Okay, this next to me is the OBSBot Tiny software, and you can see that it says a 1 and a 2. This is actually controlling 2 cameras at the same time. It's flawless. It simply works. And if I go, just to show you, if I zoom in and I'm on the software, then I can just zoom in on the fly and I can zoom out. Yeah. So whilst I'm live, I can zoom in and out. I can also click a button and go to the desktop. So I click the desktop button there, click another button, and I can go out to the garden. Now, if I want to zoom out, I can zoom out to show you more of the property and less of the garden, or I can zoom back in again. If I want to go up, then I can go up. If I want to go back to what it was before I started messing about with it, then I can just press the button and go back. Any of the views that I've shown you, I can change at any time using the software whilst I'm live, which I think is brilliant. Now, the other thing I can do is, I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to, is I can put the camera to sleep and then I can get it to resume. Yeah, so I can switch the camera off just at the click of a button. If I go here, you can see it's got AI tracking, tap lock. If I click that, I could move about the office. Do you want to go? No, we've done move about the office once. Don't want to do it twice. And on the second camera, you can see that I can go to the BenQ monitor, I can go to me, I can go to outside. So I've actually got 6 views using the software at the side of me. And the thing that impresses me enormously is that the firmware and the hardware are actually updated regularly. And I can have the device on auto sleep. So if the camera doesn't move or I don't use it for 10 minutes, it will go to sleep. I've got the gesture control I spoke about earlier. I've got the tracking mode, which is headroom mode, standard or motion. I can configure the video. Anti-flicker I can set up. HDR is a recent addition. I can have autofocus, and I've got face auto exposure as well. So all the controls that you need to control the camera, just go to obspot.com, download the software, and you're in. Okay, now I'm going to stop sharing the software and come back to me. And at the beginning of the day, I spend a lot of time actually setting this up. You wouldn't believe it, but I did. I had a running order, which I was going to go with. And as you know, if I go here, if you've seen the show before, you will know that this is live. This area here is my desktop display area. And when I had this idea, yeah, once I'd found this chess set, and it's down in the carousel, once I've found this chess set on Amazon, I thought, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rearrange my office and feature the chess set, okay, because it is a great action to have. And so I made that the focus, and that means I was able to tidy up. This area was a total mess yesterday. Now it's actually arranged in the order that I want it to be, and it looks a lot better on camera. So this is the Obspot tiny camera that we've been looking at all this time. There's the lens that twists. It's on a gimbal so that it can have 3 different preset views, 180 degrees in total. Gimbal, I put 2 gimbals down the carousel. I put a short gimbal like this, sorry, a short tripod like this down the carousel. Okay, right, the next thing I want to go to, because I do want to move on, I did have this running order totally sorted. Okay, so we've done both Obspots, probably about time too. Okay. Right, okay. Now then, the next item I want to go to, you can actually see it there. And hopefully this will work. I just want to move that somewhere safe. Okay. Because that's a $1,000 camera we're going to be looking at in a moment. So I want it somewhere safe. Right here, this should lift up now flawlessly. Yes, look at that. It's got a very long wire, about 3 meters, okay, 9 feet. And I'll come back to me and go here. Okay, and this will change. The one that I just picked up is this, and it's down in the carousel now. It is the Logitech. I do want to say hello to everybody who's watching live. I do appreciate it. We're having an afternoon of afternoons today. I'm talking about Logitech C920X, which is here. It's 14% off today at $59.99. Now, this is the first camera that I ever bought. C920X. Let's get my little thing over here. I write everything down. And the reason I write everything down is so I don't forget anything. Because I want to tell you everything. Okay, so all the salient features I've got in my agenda in my BeLive Studio, so I can go to them. I can talk about them, but it means I don't forget anything. And I don't know what's important to you, so I don't want to forget anything that is important to you. So I can show it on screen, which means that the people actually watching on Facebook and YouTube can see it too. And we've got a comment coming in from Corinda, and Corinda's still around. And Corinda is saying, oh, he does that every time. He really does do that every time. I will tell you what the X stands for in Logitech C920X in a moment. Okay. I'm going to ignore Corinda for a moment. I hope you don't mind. Okay. The X, in actual fact, stands for extra. There is something extra that comes with this camera. So as well as getting a discount today, you're actually going to get something extra. 6 years nearly 7 years I've been broadcasting, and just before Facebook Live started, there's been a group of 400 or 500 of us broadcasting on a different platform, and we all got together and we said we need to up our game. We need to have an external camera and microphone. So as a group, we went out and bought this Logitech C920, and it is a quality camera. The one I'm holding here is 6 years old. The one that you can see in the carousel is a redesign in 2020. Yeah, so I'll give you the exact date. But the beauty of this is that you've got twin microphones and then a central lens. Now, the lens on this camera can go 78 degrees. I'm going to explain all that to you when we go on to the Brio. I'm going to show you a little video about this camera as well, about 2 minutes. Stay with me. Basically, if you pull the lip down, yeah, you can put this over the top of your monitor and it just perches there. Make sure that you can actually comfortably look at it, straight at it, yeah. But that's one way. The other way, if I close that up, you'll see on the base there is a thread, and you can take a tripod such as the one we saw earlier and the ones that are down in the carousel, and you can attach it to a tripod. And then if I go here, can I show you? Just a minute. Yeah, you can attach the camera to, I love this, because I've got 6 camera views, I can do all sorts of magical things. So this is a camera attached to a tripod, and it's so simple to do. The tripod is actually screwed into the base of the camera through the thread, and it's very, very stable. And it means that the camera can be anywhere on your desking. So this one here actually looks at me, it looks outside, and it looks at my BenQ monitor, which is down in the carousel. So you can, using that thread, put it onto a tripod. This is much better, because I used to just say put it on a tripod and then you couldn't see what it looked like. Now you can. We're getting better, we hope. Okay, I do want to say thank you for joining me today. Just to confirm, as I get back into my stride after everything that's happened beforehand, and I'm going to go over here. Your host is Stephen from England. We're talking about webcams. We most certainly are. We're going to be talking about Logitech Brio next. And I want to say thank you for watching. And if you like to comment, then please do. And I'm just trying to remove a comment. Okay. Right. Okay. So thank you for allowing me to bring you up to date. So if people are on mute, then that is going to happen. I'm going to take the sticky notes off. I'm just going to put this on here. And if you are enjoying the broadcast, please do follow me. Okay, that's what I'm going to say. Right, so it's over the top of your monitor, or yeah, it's on a tripod. Okay, a bit more about the camera. It is, oh, wait a minute. I need to move that out of the way. Just a minute. I want to, right, it's going to go there. Okay, do you think it looks okay there? I think it's okay there for the moment. Okay, it's a full 1080p, which is why 500 of us chose this camera. Yeah, this has been sold in the millions over the years. Logitech C920X. Some of my colleagues who bought this camera 6 years ago are still using it. I still use it. It actually sits on my Samsung all-in-one PC and it still works. It works perfectly. So as far as durability is concerned, Logitech is a very durable camera. Great quality. It has, as I said earlier, okay, it does have stereo audio, 2 omnidirectional microphones, means it'll pick up the sound all around you. Yeah, which is why you want noise cancellation software. I'll come on to that. Okay, the next thing about the camera, we're going to do a demonstration in a minute. Auto light correction. This one, of course, just a minute, just to prove the point. When you get the camera, all you need to do is plug in to your PC or Mac. It will work straight away. It does have HD light auto correction, though, because this camera is not plugged in, I can't show you that. And it does have advanced software. Now, I am going to show you the software. When we get onto Logitech Brio, I'm going to show you the advanced capture software. And the next item is low light setting, as we just mentioned, 78 degrees field of view. The Brio has 90, the Oberspot have got 90 as well. The camera that you can see down the carousel which is $59.99. It's on discount today. It was re-engineered. This is 6 years old. The one in the carousel was re-engineered 2 years ago. Okay, and the next feature of this Logitech 920X, if I take that off screen, I'm going to hide that. Yeah. Logitech C920X, as Krinder tried to tell us earlier, has 3 months of XSplit VCAM. So basically, I'm about to explain to you, if it works, I'm about to explain to you how. I mean, I've been using XSplit VCAM background removal software since January 2019 for 3.5 years, nearly, and I swear by it. In a moment, I'm going to explain why I don't have a green screen as my background. But for the moment, what I want to do is I just want to remove that widget, because you don't want my follow button over the top of the video. So let's bring the video up on screen. Okay, this short video, only a couple of minutes, is going to explain to you what background removal software is. So let me switch off my microphone and press play and take a breather. 3, 2, 1. Ed Fulwood in England, and I'm here to give you an overview of XSplit VCAM, how it works. Background removal tool I've been using since January 2019, and it just keeps getting better and better. Now, the image behind me is one of Salisbury Cathedral, and the acid test of any background removal tool is that you still have 10 fingers with little webbing between them. Okay, so that test passed. Second is the outline of your body. Those are the things to look for when you're looking at a green screen, the ability to actually move about. So let's take a look at the software itself. And this is the XSplit VCAM program. Okay, now you notice the top there, it says original. This is me. This is also me. So this is how I look normally. Now, first stage is to actually remove the background. So let's remove the background by pressing the button, and I get background's gone. Okay, prove that if I go here, background has disappeared. Okay, so the next step is to select a background to go in place, and you can do that just by clicking an image. You'll get a different background. Okay, that's it. That's very colorful. Now, just a warning, you need to make sure that the image at the top is not too light. Okay, what you don't want is to have an image too light at the top. If you try it, you'll see what I mean. Okay, now XSplit VCAM is an external program which you download from XSplit, and it sits on your computer and you can use it in this way. Okay, so over to one of my favorite backgrounds. So I'm just switching background. Now, if I go to here, you can actually see that I can get backgrounds from several sources. I can upload a media file. Okay, and I'm going to upload a media file. I'm going to go on my hard drive to artwork and to reduced. Okay, and I'm going to bring up this image, and that's it. That's how easy it is to take an image from your hard drive and bring it on screen. Second thing you can do is you can run. Right, the second thing you can do is that you can use any web page as your background. By default, all web pages are public, which means that you can get the URL, put it into XSplit VCAM, and you can show a web page as your background. Now, if it's your web page, it's a given, you can use it because you give yourself permission. You don't need permission from other people to actually show their web pages because they're public. But just as a courtesy, if you're showing somebody else's web page as your background, then do say which website it is. If it's CNN, say it's CNN. If it's CNBC, say it's CNBC. If it's BBC, say it's the BBC, so that people know what they're actually looking at in the background. The third place you can get a background from, you can get a moving background from YouTube. All you need is the URL of the video, put it into XSplit VCam, and you can play a video in the background. It won't have sound, but it will play most of the time. Occasionally, some people want you only to play their video on YouTube, in which case it won't play in XSplit VCam. No matter what we do, we can't change that. So go on to the next one that works, but you can use any public video, yeah, as your backdrop, but you won't have sound. So if you want to play Led Zeppelin, you can't. Okay, do be aware of copyright. The final place that you can get images from is a website called unsplash.com. Now, unsplash.com is where photographers from around the world send in their best photographs. And I do mean best, the quality is so high. And you can go on unsplash.com, which is a free resource, it's free, and you can type in Paris, Texas, and you'll get images from Paris, Texas. If you type in Paris, France, you'll get images of the Eiffel Tower or the Louvre. In other words, you get image from Paris, France. It's a totally searchable database. You can download the images in any resolution in which they're available. 1920 1080 is 1920 by 1080 is the one for broadcasting. Don't have too high resolution because you're just going to waste things. So 1920 1080. And the other thing is that if you're actually going to use a backdrop from unsplash.com, just download it, upload it to XSplit VCam, and you're away, and it will work, and it's free. But what you can do in addition is, if you're on unsplash.com, when you're downloading it, just send out a tweet saying, "Thank you, Alison, for this wonderful picture." And that's a win-win situation. So backdrops are free. You can load your own images from a hard drive. You can use web pages as a backdrop. You can also use YouTube video and go to Unsplash. Okay. So we've been talking about, and it's still here. It's still here. We've been talking about this is ideal first camera for somebody who is going out on Zoom or Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. It's down in the canal today. It's $59 for this camera. Excellent build quality, long life. As I say, this camera is 6 years old, so I heartily recommend it. And I'm going to put it back carefully on its new position on my desktop. Okay. Now, the camera that you're watching at the moment is the Logitech Brio. Now, I upgraded from the C920 to actually be able to broadcast in 4K. Okay, remember 720, 1080, 4K. The higher the number, the more pixels in the picture, the clearer the picture. Okay, so I got the Brio camera so that I could actually broadcast in 4K. Now, you can broadcast in 4K to YouTube, and you need to use external software like OBS or vMix or XSplit Broadcaster to do that, but you can do it. So let's go onto the Brio in the carousel. So the carousel actually ties up with what I'm talking about. We're talking about Logitech Brio, which today, wow, Logitech Brio is 28% off today. It's the same build quality as the C920X, and the Brio, well, you're watching it now, so you can't have a better demonstration of how it looks. But I'm only going out to you in 720. I can't broadcast in 4K. What you are future-proofing yourself by getting the 4K camera now, because 4K is the future. It will happen. We've spoken to the tech people at Belive. Okay, and basically they said technically there isn't a problem. The only thing that we're waiting for, just give me a second. I'm just going to put this up there. Yep, I've spoken to the technical people at Belive, and they've said technically there's no reason we can't broadcast in 4K. We just need the internet to catch up, because as I said, 720, 1080, 4K. Every time you improve the quality of the image, you're actually sending more video data. And at the moment, the internet can't cope with everybody broadcasting in 4K. But if you want to broadcast to YouTube, you can. Okay, let's have a look at the main features then of the Logitech Brio. As you're looking at it now, and again, we go over to my memory, which is over here, and I'm clicking the link. So we're talking about Logitech Brio 4K webcam. Just waiting for that to come up on screen and probably disappear again. I've got gremlins today. It must be the heat. Just to remind you, it's 30 degrees in my office. I don't have aircon. So we're talking about Logitech 4K webcam. It is, and we're going to stress this throughout, it's Ultra 4K video. It is noise cancelling mic. This is important. If the dog barks, you'll hear it, but anybody watching you on Zoom, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch will not hear it, and that's very important. It's got high definition light auto correction. If I switch my light off again, you will see that I've gone dark, but because the Brio camera up above me is actually working hard, it's doing the correction. And I'm going to put the light back on because I'm always happiest when I've got the light. Next feature of the Logitech Brio is a wide field of view. Oh, I better put that down. It's still 30 degrees. I put that down. It's a wide field of view. Okay, 90 degrees. I'm trying to emulate there. Just to emphasize the point that, and it's at discount today, it's 4 times the resolution of a typical HD webcam. And we've already mentioned this. The auto light correction is called right light. Okay, and the camera has 3 fields of view. Now we come to the crux of this. And this is a bugbear with me, right? If you don't download the software that goes with your camera, you're set with the default position. You're losing out. You're not making the most of the camera. If you go to logitech.com, I'm trying to find it here, and you download a program called Logitech Capture, which is free, then there's so much you can do. And I'm going to explain why. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take that logo off because you know I'm working with and for BeLive. So let's take the logo off. Okay, and I'm going to go here and switch the logo off, and I'm going to apply. Okay, right. Now I'm going to say 2 things, first of all, before we actually get into this. Hands up those who think that I am sat in front of a brick wall. Hands up. Okay, am I sat in front of a brick wall? I'm waiting for your replies. You can reply. Annette Marzano, thank you very much for following me. I'm going to make a congratulatory video this weekend, but Annette, you've helped make my day. Absolutely brilliant. I love when people follow, and I look forward to seeing you on future broadcasts. Annette may get notified of broadcasts that I feature in. And in addition to that, Annette is building her own Amazon Live TV channel. Okay, this is not QVC, this is Amazon Live TV. And if you follow people, you can click the following tab up above and it will show you everybody you follow. I follow about 250 different broadcasters. I'm always learning, watching, getting to know what people are up to. Right, okay, right. Do you think I'm in front of a wall? Is that a physical wall behind me? Is the question. And nobody's answering. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to enter a secret. Down in the carousel now is a backdrop, a photography backdrop. I watched a program by my good friend Grant Saunders, and basically he had a brick wall, a dark brick wall. And I thought, well, I can't get the same wall. So I went to Amazon.com and I typed in photography backdrops. So just a minute. Let me add an item here because sometimes it gets lost in translation. Hang on. I need to be able to spell, don't I? Just a minute. P-H-O-T-O. Be worth it, just a second. I'm just going to check for spelling mistakes. Okay. Photography backdrop. I searched for that on Amazon, and basically, oh, wait a minute. I've got hello. I've got hello from Ian Anderson Gray. Ian, nice to see you. I did watch your broadcast yesterday. Well done, sir. Getting underway. It was very enjoyable, very informative, and as you said, you had fun doing it, and that's the key thing. So, Ian, if you want to drop a link to your shop, please do, and then people can go and take a look. But that's my fellow Englishman. There are 5 Englishmen on Amazon.com/live. So I went to Amazon and I searched for photography backdrop. Okay, right now I'm going to tell you my little secret. Behind me is not a wall. Okay, if I try and take that off, I just want it to come off screen. Okay, I'm having fun this afternoon, Ian. Things are not going exactly according to plan, but I'm going to soldier on as we do, and I'm going to share my screen with you. And I've got a warning signal. I'm going over to Ian again, and Ian is saying, "Thanks, Stephen. It was a lot of fun. I didn't realise that there are only 5 of us. Only 5 of us from the UK. Yeah. Just let me share screen, and I'll come back. I'm just sharing a piece of software, and it's that one. Okay. Yeah, there are only 5 Brits. There's the 2 of us. Grant Saunders, who's a stage hypnotist. Nick Wood, who is an SEO and website expert down in Farnham or Farnborough. And then there's the first Englishman who's still here, whose name escapes me. Okay, but thank you for watching. Okay, so I can now show you, and I'm still trying to get rid of that on screen. Just a minute. Must be the heat. It really must be the heat. My studio is just not it's gone at long last. Okay, so I'm going to show you why you should always download the software that goes with the hardware. Okay, so this is the software, and if I come take it off full screen and come back to me, okay, and I can turn my second camera off, okay, and turn this camera on. Okay, so in a minute we'll get there. Okay, and I don't need that video anymore, so I'm going to hide it. Okay, setting up is fun. Okay, so next to me now, and I'm just going to go widescreen for this because it helps to actually be widescreen. So let me just change to a setting. Hopefully this will work. It is working. Okay, we're going to go side by side now. I'm going to be widescreen. I predict. Right. Okay. So you're still watching the Logitech Brio camera. This is Logitech Capture, which you can download from logitech.com. Just simply go and download it, install it. Your camera will recognize your camera straight away and you're away. But the reason you want the software is simple and straightforward. If I go to the software and I zoom out, and I zoom out again, and I go to 90 degrees, I'm just waiting for something to happen. This is the default setting on the camera. Okay, now I'm just going to zoom down to the bottom because I just want to show that on screen. Okay, I might not be able to. Yeah. What you're seeing now is, I'm hoping this comes on screen. This is the camera's default settings. In other words, you can see that I have a backdrop. The backdrop is over a green screen. Okay, that's what I want you to see. I don't want you to see this. Yeah, you've got the bookcase. You've got the Samsung. Yeah, over there. In fact, what I need to do, because I'm 5 hours ahead of you, so it is getting a little darker in here, is if I put the lights on, you can see a bit better now. You can see the bookcase, you can see the Samsung, okay, and you can see my shelf of goodies, which I haven't even got around to talking about yet. But this is the default camera settings. Now, a lot of people broadcast like this, and there's no problem to it, but it is a question of personal choice. And my personal choice is this, that I should go to the software, and I'm just going to do 3 clicks. 1, 2, 3. And I'm now happy. This is how I want to look on camera. I don't want you to see anything of what's actually behind me. Yeah. I'm not that it's untidy or anything like that, but I can't, if I had the arched brick wall, you'd think straight away that's not a brick wall. But as soon as I zoom in, yeah, then to the untrained eye, okay, I think I've gone too far. Just a second. Okay, to the untrained eye, it does look like I am sat in front of a brick wall. In actual fact, if we go back to the Brio camera and just passing by Ian's comments, Ian's dropped his Amazon link in there. I'm impressed. You're live streaming in this seat. Yeah, it's the Brio I'm using at the moment, the Brio I'm demonstrating. Yeah, thank you, Ian. Now, if I go over here and I just want to go down the carousel and zoom back. So we've looked at the Obospots, we've looked at the C920X, and we're now on the Brio. You're actually watching the Brio, okay, which is on the monitor up above me, as we saw a few minutes earlier. So if you don't want to use the camera's default settings, I would suggest that you're not getting anywhere near what your camera can do unless you go to the website. If you've got any Logitech camera, with the exception of the Mevo, then go to logitech.com, search for logitech.capture, download the software, and then you can decide how you look on camera. That's the software beside me. And I go here to give you a bigger view, because what you can actually do, I'm just waiting for this to adjust, is that you can zoom in and out, you pan left and right, you can tilt up and down, you can change the field of view, okay? And in the advanced tab, if I click the button in the right place, in the advanced tab, what you can actually do is change the brightness. And I want to change the color intensity, which for some reason keeps going down. Okay, and I'm going to up the brightness slightly. Okay, and what I'm going to do, when you make any corrections like that, what you need to do is to switch your lights off and on again. Okay, because you actually, when you change the brightness, you're actually confusing the camera. So switching the light off allows it to adjust, and then you're back to the settings that you want. But do download the software from logitech.com and take control of your camera. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so you're still watching Logitech Brio, and over to Ian, and it is the Brio I'm using. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to look at. I have never ever shown you this camera on Amazon Live because it's 6 years old, and it's definitely not on Amazon.com anymore. It is a good camera. I used it for doing mobile video, but well, it was time to get a new camera, and my new camera is down in the carousel. Okay, and I'm going to show you my new mobile phone now. So let's just go over here. Now I could do with a drum roll right now, but I'll make do with what we've got and say that my new mobile phone is, drum roll, the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra smartphone. And I got this because I wanted to get a top of the range phone. This is the flagship Samsung phone of 2022, released earlier this year. I've now got one. I feel privileged to actually be able to hold this camera in my hand. Now, here's a point. This mobile phone is down the carousel. It's $999. It is, and I want to quote this correctly, it is 23% off today. Okay, now it's not Amazon Prime Day, okay, but it is 23% off, which is quite a hefty discount. And I've got to say that from my point of view, it actually is worth it. Let's take a look at this, what this phone can do. Okay, it is 256 gig of memory, 8K. Remember we talked about 4K cameras earlier with the Brio. This is 8K camera and video. It's got a brightness display, the brightest display that a Samsung phone has ever had. You know, when you go outside and you take your phone outside and you sit down and you're scrolling it, and it's a beautiful sunny day and you cannot see your screen. Yeah, if you've got a modern phone, you might be able to, but I've never been able to. With the Samsung Galaxy, I can sit outside in England in the bright sunlight, yeah, and I can see, I'm just unlocking it, I can see the screen. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Now, I've only had this phone 6 days, so I'm still getting used to it. I'll tell you more about it over the coming weeks. I'm live 11 a.m. Eastern every day, and we're going to be exploring what this beautiful phone can do. Remember the Galaxy Notes, which disappeared? Well, I've got good news for you. The S Pen is back. Okay, the S Pen. I can click here, and I can write in my own hand style. Just a minute. I'm doing this live, so forgive me. Yeah, I can